Good morning and welcome to Morning Markets True Potential. Today we'll be focusing mainly on the surprise rate cut announced by OPEC Plus over the weekend. Before we dig into a surprise rate cut from OPEC Plus from yesterday, take a look at surprise job numbers which came out from the US. US payroll added another 339,000 jobs in the month of May, which was much higher than what markets were expecting. Markets were expecting around 190k job addition in month of May. We also saw surprise revise up in job numbers for both March and April, which was largely unexpected from the market. Where does leave is unemployment rate. Unemployment rate also ticked up to 3.7% from 3.4% in month of April. We also saw a flat line in participation rate. So unemployment rate up, but still jobs creation is still strong, which points to still a tight labor market in the US. What it means for the Federal Reserve, for the central bank in the US, who meets on next week. We expect that June rate hike is still on card, but again, it's been balanced by recent disinflationary trends, both from energy and headline inflation have been coming softer. So provides some room for Federal Reserve to take a pause as well. The recent job numbers from Friday does provide some upward pressure on rate hikes, but still in balance overall for next week's rate hike in the US. Coming back on to the big news from yesterday, OPEC Plus announced a production cut, which was a surprise to market. We saw the biggest part of the cut will be taken by Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia will cut their production to 9 million barrels per day. From currently they're producing around 10 million barrels per day, and the cuts will announce as early as July. This is one of the biggest cut the kingdom has announced in recent years. What it means for oil prices, we saw some pop up on Friday on expectation of these cuts. We saw this morning as well some pop up in oil prices, but we see the momentum is already losing. We also see that given the disinflationary trend and slowdown in global economy, this should not be a big upturn event for oil prices going forward. If you're looking at what markets have been doing this morning, we saw some positive momentum coming out of Asia. We saw Japanese and Chinese equities doing particularly well on the back of some better expected PMI numbers from coming out of China. We also saw European markets also rallying on the back of better than expected exports coming out of Germany. Later today, we also see some the PMI's numbers coming out of US and also for UK. We'll see how the markets take those reactions and how markets react to that. But for now, we'll leave it there. And thank you very much for watching Morning Markets.